A major independent investigation into child sexual abuse, led by Professor Jake, has exposed widespread systemic failures and identified tens of thousands of victims across England and Wales. Yet, despite the shocking scale of these findings, questions raised by Rupert Lowe remain unanswered. The Labour Party has offered no clear response, leaving many to wonder how the government, under Labour's leadership, truly intends to tackle.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Given that the opposition amendment has been accepted, I'm not going to stand here and outline my disgust at what has happened with regard to the historic grooming scandal. The British people want answers, so I'm going to ask questions of the Labour Party, and several of them. Will the government commit to urgently deporting all guilty foreign nationals involved, including family members who were aware of the crimes and therefore complicit? Wives, sisters, mothers, cousins, if they knew and said nothing, these individuals are just as guilty as the rapists themselves. Will the government commit to stripping citizenship from dual nationals implicated and deport them as well? Race or religion must protect nobody. Will the government commit to pausing all Pakistani visas and foreign aid into the country until the Pakistani government agrees to accept any of its deported citizens that have perpetrated these crimes on British soil, and also imprisons these rapists and their accomplices in Pakistan, however they see fit? Will the government undertake a full investigation into officials who had knowledge of these crimes, yet failed to act? Establish a specified task force to root out this wicked evil. Don't just fire these vile individuals, prosecute them. How many girls are estimated to have been raped? Is there a tally for the overall number of rapes? Horrifyingly, it may well be in the millions. We just don't know. How many vulnerable young girls are estimated to still be involved in these gangs? If there is no estimate figure, why not? Will a regular update be published detailing ongoing prosecutions and sentencing? Will the government publish a full nationality breakdown of those convicted for such offences, along with the location of their crimes? How many known foreign rapists per town, per region? Will they publish a breakdown of the immigration status of those involved? On what grounds were they in the UK? Do they have previous convictions? How many foreign nationals found guilty have been released but not deported? And how many re-offences, I'm going to carry on if that's right. How many re-offences have occurred since release? How many of these monsters are walking on the same streets as the girls they raped and abused? One report suggested a victim had come face to face with her rapist in the supermarket. Is the government comfortable with that? How many of the foreign rapists were in receipt of any form of state benefit?
Would the honourable member give
I'm going to carry on if that's right. How many released currently receive any state benefit? How many children have been born following a rape from these men? How many have been given access to the child against the mother's wishes? And how many have used the child as a route to remain in the UK? Will the government commit to preventing this in future? How many deportations have been blocked due to the rapist's right to a family life or other ECHR influences? Will the government set up a dedicated, confidential and accessible official process for whistleblowers to safely raise their concerns regarding foreign rape gangs, ensuring it is safe, secure and easy to find? Will the government release all court transcripts relating to these cases so the British people can understand just part of the horror for themselves? How many of these documents have been hidden due to the cost of release? This should not be an obstacle to transparency on these trials. Will lifelong sentences now be considered for those British citizens involved in the crimes, but also those in positions of power who acted to cover up the scale of the abuse? Which politicians, local and national, had knowledge of these events but failed to act? Again, going as far as to actively conceal what was truly happening. These are the facts that the British people want to know and the British people deserve to know. All of these questions have also been submitted in written form, and I look forward to receiving open and transparent answers. The mass rape of young white working class girls by gangs of Pakistani rapists is a rotting stain on our nation. This is not about Elon Musk. This is not a bandwagon of the far right. This is about the victims and ensuring swift and brutal justice is delivered to those demons responsible. It is about distinguishing between right and wrong.
I finished. In a fiery statement that electrified the Procedure Committee hearing, Rupert Lowe, former member of the European Parliament and now a prominent political figure, a blistering critique of the UK government's handling of the sex trafficking gang scandals that have outraged the public for more than a decade. Speaking with rare determination, Lowe raised questions that politicians in Westminster have long avoided, demanding real action instead of yet more hollow promises. At the heart of his speech was a pointed and uncomfortable question. Why have foreign nationals convicted of child sexual exploitation not been deported from the UK? According to Lowe, the current system is failing on two fronts: prosecution and deportation. He called it nothing less than a betrayal of the British people and the victims. Asking bluntly, if even foreign child rapists can't be expelled, then what is the point of having immigration and justice systems at all? This question hit hard, especially as public trust in those very systems has plummeted. Reports over recent years have revealed numerous cases where foreign criminals remained in the UK after conviction, protected by legal loopholes, endless appeals, or a lack of cooperation from their home countries. Lowe went further, making a bold proposal that stunned many: cut foreign aid to countries that refuse to take back their criminals. Most shocking of all was his claim that the real number of victims could reach into the millions over several decades. While official figures are far lower, many believe they are deliberately understated, suppressed by weak reporting systems, institutional indifference, and even cover-ups designed to protect political reputations. His speech sparked new questions. Who are the victims? How many have dared to speak out? How many convictions have been secured? And, crucially, how many offenders have actually been deported, if any at all? Very few answers have ever been provided. While the Rotherham, Telford, and Rochdale scandals exposed part of the truth, Lowe argued that it is time for Parliament to conduct a far deeper investigation. Perhaps the most explosive part of his statement was his call for criminal probes into members of the police, local government, and other authorities who may have turned a blind eye or worse, actively covered up abuse to avoid political embarrassment. This is not a new accusation. Past reports have described a culture of fear inside local councils, where whistleblowers were ignored and victims silenced. The idea that police officers or government officials could face criminal charges for negligence or complicity only fueled public outrage. Lowe did not shy away from naming names, pointing directly at Pakistan. He demanded that UK aid to the country be frozen until it fully cooperates in taking back its criminals. From 2021 to 2024, the UK sent more than £300 million in aid to Pakistan, making it one of the largest recipients of British funding. Lowe called it a national disgrace, saying, "British taxpayers are funding schools and infrastructure in Pakistan, while rapists from that very country are allowed to live freely here. If Pakistan won't take back its criminals, why should we keep sending money to their government?" While the UK government has previously acknowledged the difficulties of deporting foreign criminals, they have never considered using aid as leverage. But if Lowe's demand gains public backing, it could spark serious pressure from backbench MPs. Already frustrated with Labour's immigration policies, Lowe has now called for the creation of a national task force, a powerful, independent body, with the authority to investigate systemic failures, prosecute officials who obstruct justice, speed up deportation processes, and reach out to victims who are too afraid to come forward. Meanwhile, in a separate but equally embarrassing moment for the Labour government, GB News became the centre of political attention after Labour's Environment Minister, Steve Reid, was left humiliated on live television. During a heated exchange with Camilla Tominey, Reid was asked a simple question: what is the legal age to marry in the UK? His response: an awkward pause followed by the fumbling reply, "I don't know, you tell me." Tominey immediately seized the moment, blasting Reid for his lack of basic knowledge. She argued that it exposed a much deeper issue: Labour's growing disconnect from real-world concerns. In just a few seconds, the party's image of competence was dealt a devastating blow. You can watch that shocking clip here.
I'll let you go. How old do you have to be legally married in the UK, Mr. Reid?
To be legally married in the UK, you'll have to, yeah, I don't know, tell me, how old? 16? 18?
No, it's not 16.
18.
This is a trap that your colleague, the Deputy Prime Minister, Angela Rayner, fell into. She justified votes at 16 by saying that's the age you can get married. Actually, you can only get married when you're 18 in this country. Why doesn't the Deputy Prime Minister, or indeed the Environment Secretary, know basic laws of the UK?
Well, having votes at 16 was something that we put in our manifesto. We won a majority in the House of Commons. Now we're getting ahead and we're implementing our manifesto. 16 and 17-year-olds can already vote in certain elections in Scotland and Wales. I think it's reasonable to give young people a say in national elections here in the UK as well.
And final question. When Diane Abbott appears to have cultivated a history of making remarks that are extremely offensive to the Jewish community, why just suspend her from the Labour Party? Why not, now it's a third strike and you're out, why not just expel her from your party, Steve Reid?
Well, she's been suspended, and that means all of those questions are being looked at. It's not for me, I'm not part of the process that will conduct the investigation into what's precisely has happened. They will have
what
the
do you
chance to speak
think,
to
though?
her as well, so we'll have to wait and see. Well, you know, I'm not the person who sets the rules, and I'm not the person that will be deciding the sanction. I think it's right that she's been suspended, but let's just give it the time for the people who are charged with looking into this to do their work, and then we'll find out.
All right, Environment Secretary Steve Reid, I'm glad we got to have this chat. Thank you very much indeed.